So SR is given as 36. So this is 36. Then we need to determine AW. Now based on, can you pay attention now? Right. Since yesterday we already we're able to determine that W is a midpoint, which means A is also a midpoint. Now for you to answer 2.2.1, you can use the midpoint theorem as your answer, right? Because in triangle PSR, AW is parallel to SR, but AW bisects PS and PR. So we can use our reason as the midpoint theorem now. Okay? So for 2.2.1, first I can just say in triangle PSR, okay, AW is going to be equal to half of SR. And the reason for this is the midpoint theorem. Okay? If you want to write the converse, it also will be acceptable. So either the converse or the original midpoint theorem. Okay. Yesterday, we proved that PA is equal to AS. Okay? Because we proved that PA is not AS. Yeah, you can use the midpoint theorem as your reason. Or the converse. Right? So this will be equal to half times 36. So, okay, let me do it down here. So AW is going to be equal to 18 centimeters. So this will be 18 centimeters. Right? Then we now need to find the length of VR. Okay? Now to find the length of VR, we already know some of the ratios from yesterday's lesson. Okay, so let me go back. So, okay, this is the diagram, right? If I want to calculate VR, I have to use triangle TSR. Do you see that? I have to use triangle TSR. I'm going to apply the proportion theorem in that triangle. Okay? So I still need this. So I'm going to put here my 2y. Okay, so this is 2y, that's 7y. Okay? I hope you can agree with me that because SR is given, I can calculate the length of SV. Okay? Using these two. Okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the basics of the proportion theorem. Right? So, but I can use them directly. For the sake of confusion, I'll go back to the basics of the proportion theorem. So in triangle TSR, okay, if I use the proportion theorem, now I'm going to use the proportion theorem in terms of the corollaries. Because I want to calculate VR, but I am given SR. Do you understand that? I'll use one of the corollaries. So I'm going to say SR over VR. Now it's your choice whether you want to make VR the numerator or the denominator. It won't make any difference. Yes. So if I make my SR my numerator, means my denominator is going to be VR. Are you following that? You can also make VR the numerator, SR the denominator. There is no special rule here. So it's your choice based on what you prefer. Then on the other side now, since I started with SR, then for the right hand side, I have to start with TR. So that would be TR or RT, whichever you want to prefer, then over what? RW. Then here my reason will be line parallel to one side of triangle. Or you can write proportion theorem, but you have to state the lines that are parallel. So it's up to you there. Okay. Again, with regard to the reason, it's your choice. I'm not going to prescribe which reason you are supposed to use, but both of them will be acceptable. So what is SR? SR is what? 36. We want VR. Now, coming back to our last lesson, the concept of the constant now, you see, you're going to see that it's very helpful here. Because when I put TR is going to be 2y plus what? So you get what? Right? Then my RW is going to be 7y. Do you see that those two will cancel out? Okay? So using that constant, it comes in handy, and you can be a master of answering these questions. If you understand that concept, you will never have any problems. Right? So from here now, you can see that VR can be determined very easily. So VR is going to be equal to 36 by 7 divided by 9. This will give me 4 by 7, and I'll get 28. So that will be 28 centimeters. Did you get that? Okay, maybe you use a different approach, but it's fine. So whichever way you answered the question, as long as you use the correct concepts, you should come to this answer. Okay, yes? It's most likely. Okay, first I would say, based on the ratios which I wrote there, you can swap the numerator and the denominator. Right? Another way would be to, probably you could determine this length here, okay, using 2y and 7y. You could also go via that route. So you can say, because the ratio of SV and VW, it's also equal to 2:7. Do you agree with me? Okay, what I'm trying to say is this. If I introduce a new constant, I can say, since this is 2y, I can call this one 2x, and that one there, I can call it 7 what? 7x, right? So if I want to calculate the length of VR, since the whole length of SR is 36. Yes, right? So you can calculate x if you want, right? Or you can say 7x divided by 9x times what? 36. You get the same result. But I would prefer that you go via the route of applying the proportion theorem. Okay? But that could also work. So there's more than one way of getting the what? The answer. I would prefer to use a method which involves the proportion theorem. So if you use the proportion theorem, you can determine this length here, then use these two, okay, to determine the length of VR. You would also come to the same result. Okay? Please, when you see questions on the proportion theorem, don't be scared if you see the ratios. If you understood the concept of the constant, you are okay with it. You can answer any questions. All right? Has anybody else got a question? Any question? Okay, so when you see these questions, if you understood the concept of the constant, you smile whenever you see the questions. No need of an increase in heartbeat. Okay? Then let's come to the area question. So let me delete this. Okay? Right, so the area question now. Right, this one here, right, it's a little bit different from the questions we have done so far on area. Okay, it's slightly more complex. So, one, the area of PSR. So, PSR. So this is PSR. Okay? Remember I said for the proportion theorem, if it for geometry itself, it's always better to have highlighters so that you can highlight the triangles or the circles that you are dealing with. Then WVR. So the WVR. Okay, so let's use a different color, maybe green there. So we have got that. Okay, so those are our two triangles. Now, it is much better for me to go back to my dimensions that I put in terms of the constant. Okay, so that I can make things easier for myself. So I say this is 7y, that's 2y. I think this was PT was what? 5y, isn't it? Then this one here, we know that this is going to be 7x. I'm going to use a different constant. This will be what? 2x. Right? Now, once I have that, I'm almost done. Okay? I can use the what? The area rule to do the question. Are you following that? So, all I have to do now, okay, here, I'll just expand it. So, the area of PSR is going to be equal to half times PR. So, PR times SR times sine R all over half times, okay, in this case it's going to be VR times, sorry, I was supposed to put WR here. So this is WR, then here I'm going to have VR. Well, because of multiplication, it's the same anyway. Okay, this will be times sine R. Now, based on what I told you yesterday, these two halves will cancel out. The sine r's will also cancel out. Right? Now, the interesting thing is, if I plug in the length of PR, SR, WR, VR in terms of the constants will disappear. I hope you've seen that now. Right? So PR is going to be 14y times SR, that will be 9x over WR, that's 7y, and then we have VR, that's 7x. Already I'm smiling there. I hope you can see that. Okay, no stress. Okay, no stress, no pressure. Okay, yeah, you come out with exam smiling. This is 7 into 1, that's 1 into that, that's 2 times that. You get 80 divided by 7. So that's the ratio of the two areas. No pressure, isn't it? Yeah, no stress. If you understand that, you won't have any problem. All these questions will be a piece of cake. Okay? Right, any question? So far, I've only done the question on area using the area rule. There's another type of question which is more higher order that I'm going to give you as well. Plus some questions, they also require knowledge of similar triangles, which we haven't done. So we'll talk about that special case, two special cases on ratio of areas. Okay? Are you following? So if you understood the concept of the constant, you'll be smiling. The proportion theorem, you can get full marks. Okay. All right. Any question? Yes. What did I use? What?